Now, as promised, earlier in the week, talkSPORT broke the news that the Premier League faces a vote to scrap the use of VAR from next season. All 20 member clubs will vote at their annual general meeting on the 6th of June. The vote was triggered after Wolves formally submitted a resolution to the Premier League on Wednesday. The clubs said that VAR was introduced in good faith, but has led to numerous unintended negative consequences that are damaging the relationship between fans and football. Any rule changes need a 2/3 majority, so that's 14 of the 20 clubs, to vote in favour. But it is understood that most clubs will vote to keep VAR. Before we get your thoughts, Cass, have a listen into what the Wolves manager, Gary O'Neill, had to say on it yesterday.
We could be seen as being a little bit old-fashioned and, come on, can't resist the change, it's technology, and we're in 2024, and I get all of that. I am forward-thinking, and we use all of the technology and stuff available to us to make the team better. So why would we not use it to make the officials better? So I get it. But I do think the effect it's had on going to football matches is huge. So, as I say, I'm a representation of the club, and what I hear from my supporters every week is that they're not enjoying it as much. So it is an important issue to raise. And the club have raised that. We see how it goes, and yeah, it will either go, which I think is probably unlikely, but it'll either go or it will hopefully get a lot better.
Okay, So that is what Gary O'Neill had to say, and he said there he doesn't expect that the vote will go through. Can you understand where they're coming from, Wolves?
Yeah, I can. But there's the only way that VAR would disappear if attendances started to drop at football matches in the Premier League, empty seats, and fans not prepared to put up with VAR.
Yes.
Okay? Any other way? There's no way this is going away, in my opinion. I just do not see an end for VAR.
No, I don't either.
I just don't. All I can say is, and it's an obvious answer, is improve VAR. I didn't say improve VAR. Improve the people that are working on decision-making. Yes,
I think this vote that, as we mentioned, we don't expect will go through in Wolves' favour. But I think what it might do is further put the spotlight on the officials.
Yeah.
And look, I think Howard Webb, no doubt, over this summer period is probably going to have to start to think about how we need to improve this to a standard where everybody kind of, yes, we know some decisions might not go the way that your team...
There'll still be errors, we know that.
Of course, but not just errors, but also the subjectivity of it. So we're never going to get 100% consistency because your view might be different to my view. But I think there just needs to be... It's not about VAR. It's not the technology that's the problem. It's the people that are implementing it and how they're using it. Are they constantly reviewing decisions that are meant... You know, we're supposed to be going down the clear and obvious route. Now, it seems that everything is being forensically looked at, which is not what VAR was brought in to do. It was brought in to just look at the obvious errors that are made in football, yet it feels as though everything is being challenged all the time.
Spot on. I went to 3 games in 4 days last week. I went to Chelsea versus Spurs, I went to Arsenal versus Bournemouth, and I went to Liverpool versus Spurs on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Every goal, everyone's looking around to see if this is going to be chalked off. Every goal that was scored.
Yeah.
And we can't get there. Now, I'm going to... I could sort of farcical, right? It's become that. I've nicked that off Rob Shepherd, who I was with at the Football Writers' dinner this week, a journalist. He used that word, and I said, I'm going to plagiarise it, I'm going to use it. Okay, so Rob, we're okay on that one. But I just find it incredible that as a spectacle, it is entertainment, which you have... I mean, there was one game now, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a 5-minute decision on the decision, 5 minutes waiting to see the outcome. I find that incredible.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think needs to be brought in, and this is to do with IFAB, isn't it, is the communication within the grounds.
Yeah.
Because it is the fans in the stadium that are the ones that are sat there, like you say, going, well, is it a goal or not? What's going on? We're sat there most of the time not understanding. I mean, I've been there where it comes up with VAR red card, and there was a moment, I forget which game it was, and we didn't even know which player it was that they were looking at, because obviously there was a lot going on in that moment that you're thinking, well, which side are you looking at? They might have a red card. I think what needs to be improved is, and what needs to be implemented is, we need to hear, like we have in rugby, the TMO referee conversation with the officials, because I think that will help us to understand what is going on. So the spectator within the stadium will understand it. We might not like the decision still, but that's down to the subjectivity of the laws, like we've already mentioned. But at least there is clarity to what is going on.
Look, there's only two decisions that really all the problems are coming from. It's one's offside and the other one's handball. Yeah. They're all the problem areas, aren't they, Nat, in the game? Now, I think you've got to give a little bit of leeway, okay? It doesn't have to be the toenail. It doesn't have to be a ridiculously tiny margin, okay? Just go with what you think, and don't. I totally hate slow motion. I hope the slow down images. Stop. Just play everything in real time. And if someone makes a call, because every time you slow something down, you're seeing another 100 images of what you think. Oh yes, there is something there. Just everything at normal time. Don't allow slow motion for a decision. I think it's wrong.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And maybe give back the decisions to the on-field referee so that it's not a re-refereeing of the game, which, again, we weren't supposed to have with VAR coming in, but it feels as though that is very much happening right now. But it's an interesting conversation that Wolves have started, no doubt. And as I say, Howard Webb probably has a busy summer ahead to look forward to as he tries to improve the relationship with VAR and everybody involved.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.